you know, what about that practice of making it possible for employees to have time in their day to learn and develop? Because I think we collectively struggle constantly with the, I had this plan to develop. So even if we get that good head end step where they have a good human conversation, they have that development plan in place, but they get to December, let's call it, and they're like, oh, good, that was fun. Let's just copy paste that to next year. And they do that year on year, right? Because the progress, the meaningful progress is not the piece we're focused on. We're usually focused on, you've got a development plan in place because we can measure the number of development plans in place and we congratulate ourselves on a job well done. And I think that that's where we as organizations need to be having human conversations with leaders and employees to say, like, we recognize that for you to truly be engaged here, like, we know that you want to get better at stuff. If we go back to the old model of autonomy, mastery, purpose, right? Is people want to get a chance to decide how they do their work in a day. And this is the drive model from Daniel Pink, right? They want to know how, they want to be able to decide how they do their work, which we've gotten a little better at. I think we've gotten out of the command and control to some degree in certain areas, and certain jobs lend themselves to it more than others. But then that mastery piece, I want to know that I'm getting better at something. And so we need to make sure that we have that discussion around, you know, one of the expectations for leaders is to say, you know, how are you managing the work? How are you managing your team to be able to allow for that time? And how are individuals prioritizing it, either in the way or what that they do their work, or being able to have that human conversation back with their leader and say, hey, yeah, I could do all 5 of these things, but then I'm going to have to push the development part off my plate, which is what is happening today. How do we get it so it's like, you know what, let's take this one off because it's actually lower priority, but let's prioritize the development piece. And that's an ongoing conversation that the organization has to have, because if senior leadership is saying, I need these many widgets, and those are literally not possible to get done in the period of time, resources, type, scale, people, whatever, the more with less has come home to roost, then we need to shift out of that and say, well, we're going to be doing more with even less, because in the great, I read an article the other day that recast the great resignation as the great reprioritization for people about what matters to them and what are they going to make their choices based on. And if you think it's a struggle today to produce that many widgets with the people you have, imagine doing it with 20% less, because they've all decided, you know what, it actually matters more to me that I go and grow than that I stay and produce.